Yo, Sanjo Uche here, people, giving you my review on Dragon Ball Super episode 108. Sorry about that. Um, so as usual, I'm just getting off the episode, and just to give you my initial impressions, I thought it was an okay episode. I wasn't really blown away by it, like really and truly. It was okay. But that said, it wasn't a bad episode overall. Now, like coming off it, does anyone feel like like the fight between Gohan and that robot at the beginning of the episode? Like, does anyone really take? Did anyone really take that seriously? Like, I'm seeing this robot just kind of take its time and it's approaching Gohan, firing energy beams. And I'm like, I don't know, man. This just seems off to me. Gohan should just take this guy out like easy. But whatever. Um. That being said, let's get right into the actual review, the in-depth dissection, I suppose. All right, so obviously, if you watch the episode, you know that it revolved around the characters of Gohan, Frieza, Frost, and Jimenez from Universe 2, who knows who's the Yardrat, who knows the instant transmission. Of course, specifically Frieza and Frost potentially joining for well, they've already joined forces based on information and what was presented before this, but basically what Frieza and Frost their plan was and then putting it in action starting with Gohan essentially. Now that was sort of the plot, but the pacing itself I thought was okay. I didn't think it was too bad. We got a bit of Goku and Ribrian here. We got a bit of Frieza, Gohan, Jimez, and different interactions and dialogue from the various gods of destruction. That said, now I think where this episode definitely shines is the characterization. Obviously, when you're dealing with an episode where essentially Frieza is the strongest of the main characters involved in this episode. So when you have something like that, I think the episode more so falls back on the characterization aspect of the of the show, honestly speaking, and it does shine through, honestly, in terms of Frieza and Frost and their deceptive nature. Essentially, that's where the episode definitely shines through to me. And it's funny because, like, we get some interesting tidbits throughout the episode, where by the end we have Frieza who, as many may have predicted, he really didn't intend to join forces with Frost because of basically the level Frost is at. Probably not power wise, but in terms of his how easily he trusted Frieza, essentially speaking. So Frieza looked at that and basically deceived Frost at the end of the day. So the thing is, we have Gohan going up against Jimenez first thing, and it was I don't know, like I didn't really have a problem with it considering it was the instant transmission, but I still thought Gohan should have been able to find a way to counter that, honestly speaking. Essentially, since he was just going for Gohan's blind spot, you'd think after he disappears from sight, even though I know it's instant, but I don't know, it's just the way Frieza came in and countered. And they didn't really elaborate on how Frieza actually managed to counter. Frieza just mentions his child's play, really and truly, and just easily counters the instant transmission. Along the same lines as I thought Gohan would have, Frieza simply just apparently goes for his blind spots. Like, once Jimenez disappears from the field of view, he just like attacks at his blind spot. Just like when he just did it, Frieza attacked with his tail. So I thought that was pretty cool. That was okay. Um, of course, it does. What I really like, as I mentioned, this episode definitely depends on the characterization aspect, and that Frieza, even though he's had his irrational moments in the past, overall he's not an idiot. He knows he'll be erased if he if he goes against his own universe, really and truly. And it was interesting to note that when Frieza was pretending throughout the episode that the Zenos or the Grand Priest didn't really have a problem with it, I was kind of expecting him to say more, but I guess not. But yeah, the thing is, he's not stupid. So him actually he goes around this roundabout method pretending to attack Gohan, but by the end of it we find out he's been holding back, and Gohan realizes this at the when Frieza attacks him, and I kind of picked up on it as well. Like I figured that would have been the case, so I guess that kind of added that air of predictability about the episode as well. Which I mean, sometimes it's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can. But I don't think it. I didn't think it hurt the episode, honestly speaking. Um, so we have Frieza coming in. He takes out Gmez with his signature ruthless, sadistic nature, and we have the gods commenting, and like specifically Helios from Universe Two, the God of Destruction, commenting on Frieza's style, and after that we have Frost coming in there, and they basically turn on Gohan, and this is when Frieza essentially puts his plan into motion, and Gohan realizes. Now, I was going to speak about the power scale in this episode, in the sense that okay, Gohan's fighting base form Frieza, and then Gohan powers up to his full power, and then Frieza goes golden. But I don't think I can judge Gohan. I mean, we did see him go against Super Saiyan Blue Goku, but I don't think he's as strong as Super Saiyan Blue Goku. But the thing is, considering they were, you could deduce that they were both holding back based on the fact that Gohan said he wasn't serious, and the display of power was just for show, honestly. But it still has to be said that Frieza, the fact that Frieza still went golden does say something, I suppose. So, and even Frost commented on his power, so there's that as well. Um, of course, by the time Frieza, him and Gohan, well, he knocks out Gohan, quote unquote, and then after this, we see Frieza transforming back to his normal state and giving Frost advice. And it was cool seeing Frieza advising Frost in terms of him saying, hey, you could probably achieve a form at this too, but just not golden. And then we get to see the 100% max power form from the Namek arc, and he says that Frost should be able to do that at least, and we see Frost in his 100% form. It'd be interesting if we got that as DLC in Xenoverse 2 or future games to come. And then after this, we see Frieza giving an next bit of advice not to trust easily and just ring him out. And then we get an interesting tidbit at the end where Frost is essentially pissed at Frieza, and he says he would never team up with an amateur like him. And it's at this point where Frost tries to attack Frieza, and then Zenom just immediately erases him from existence, telling Universe 6 that, hey, if you try that again, Universe 6 is gonna go. So that was interesting. And after this, we have Frieza talking about to go and say, hey, let's try to work towards this goal of winning, surviving. And that's the end of the episode, essentially. As I said, and the next thing, I didn't like the Goku versus Ribrianne thing. I thought that brought down the episode for me, honestly speaking, because it's just false tension, honestly. It just feels like they're just stalling for time so that in the next episode, based on the spoilers we have, Jiren can interrupt. But the fact that Goku's fighting her in his base form when he realizes his attacks aren't having any effect. I'm wondering, why doesn't he just go Super Saiyan? Super Saiyan 2. You don't have to go blue. I mean, Vegeta was fighting her Super Saiyan, so naturally you'd think he'd go Super Saiyan 2. But it's just dumb. Honestly, I'm watching, I'm like, okay, stupid. This is dumb. So it definitely brought an episode for me. I don't know if I should say objectively speaking it brought on the episode, but personally it was just stupid to me, honestly speaking. I really don't have a problem with Ribrianne herself, but it's just that Goku find her in space state, and it's just dumb. But with that said, as I mentioned, it's an okay episode. I mean, in terms of other aspects, I mean, the animation it was okay. The art looked kind of weird in some shots here and there, not much. And the choreography was, yeah, the choreography and animation just felt pretty stiff. And how could I forget? There was this one scene with Toppo and Kaba, and that's all we got from it. I was kind of expecting more from that scene, honestly speaking, to see more if Toppo or if Kaba would be ringed out or what would be the case. But I guess not. But Yeah, I mean, as I mentioned, it's an okay episode. It's not the worst episode in the. I don't think it's the worst episode in the tournament, but it's eh. And I mean, in terms of any other interesting tidbits I found in the episode, in terms of I believe the Supreme Kai of Universe, I believe it's one. Him stating that it doesn't really matter who wins this tournament, like nothing will change. It's just a bunch of mortals with low, bunch of universes with low mortal levels. Essentially, they're just weeding out the weak universes just for the balance of things. So yeah, that was kind of interesting there, and of course, Universe 5 was saying that hey, probably like the Supreme Kai for that universe saying that she doesn't know how things would have basically panned out. I'm not quoting, I'm basically paraphrasing here. If essentially Universe 5 participated in this. So I guess that does give some more hints into this whole mortal level thing, which I think was an interesting tidbit in the sense that probably the mortal level does not necessarily refer to strength, but just in terms of development and how probably the gods work with developing the universe and all of that. So it could be a hint, but it's still not clear cut just yet. But I guess as time goes on, we'll see. So that's all I have for this one. Rate, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you thought about the episode and my review as well. If there's anything I missed, if there's anything I got wrong, let me know. And I'll see you in the next one.